the Siren and the Pirate, jewelry for the adventurer, and I'm returned from my hiatus. I'm back with another tutorial. Today we're going to learn how to make this set of earrings. Okay, to get started, you're going to need 4 pieces of 16 gauge wire. These are about 4.5. They don't have to be very big. They're just 4.5 to 5 inches. You're also going to need 24 gauge wire. And this you're going to need about 2.5 feet, which is what, about 75 centimeters, 24 gauge wire. I'm working with round wire. And the first thing we're going to do is create this weave. All right, to start, pick up the first piece of 16 gauge wire. You're going to leave about 1 inch of a tail on the back side. Start in from the left. We're not going to end up using the whole thing, as you can see. I just kind of started in the middle, towards the middle, or not towards the middle. Well, the whole weave. Man, I'm rusty. The weave is going to be spanning the middle of this, so just start, a good inch or so from the left. And we're going to wrap around once, twice, and then we're going to add our next piece of wire to the top. I'm going to leave some spaces between these wires. I don't want them too close together. It's going to be hard to get this weaving wire in between them. We're going to wrap twice around these 2 wires. Squish it together. Add your next piece of wire to the top of that. Now this one we're just going to go around one time. One time around. I want the, it's kind of tricky because I'm working with 24 gauge wire, so I do want it to be tight, so I have to pull a little bit, but I don't want to pull it so tight that I'm pulling all of these weaving wires close together. Focus here. There we go. Because I will need to be able to get this wire in between, and if it's too tight, it's going to be difficult moving forward. All right, now take your last remaining wire, place it on top. We'll go around once over the top of that wire, down the back side. And then we're going to go back up. Now we're going to go between the top 2 wires. So repeating that same pattern, but just going down. So one time. I want to try to keep my wires spaced. Okay, now we're going to go back up. And now we're going between the second and the third wire. We're going to do that one 2 times. And now this one's tricky because we're going to go around this bottom wire twice. And if you have trouble, see, I can't quite get it in there. Everything's gotten a little tight, so I'm just going to use my pliers to kind of mash it in there. There we go. Sometimes I like to go in and give it all a good squeeze. Okay, so we've got the pattern completed. This is just one. We're going to end up doing this 6 times. So go ahead, do this 6 more times, and then we'll meet right back here. Okay, once you have the 6 little hills finished, I want you to grab a pair of pliers. You should still have some tail left over. Keep that because we're going to use it. We also still need this tail at the beginning, so Don't cut either of those off yet. Use your pliers and you're just going to start to pull out each of these wires. So just hang on to the weave with one hand. Pull them out, pull them out, pull them out. Maybe. This one doesn't want to come out. Yeah. Oh, what the heck? Try this one. Struggle is real. There we go. I have to get off frame. Hang on. There we go. Had to bring it in closer to my body. There we go. Now the last one should come out easy. Okay, so you were left over this very bendy weave. So we don't want it that bendy. We want to add some sturdiness to it. So grab a piece of 20 gauge wire. Where did that go? Ah, here it is. About 6 inches. All right, now from here, take your 20 gauge wire and you're going to push it through the bottom of this weave. So it's connected there. And then I'm going to add one more coil with the tail that's left over and get that nice and tight around the wire. So I'm wrapping the 24 gauge wire around the 20 gauge. And then you can trim it off. Do that on either side. Okay, now I should mention placement of this is kind of important. I'm going to go right in the middle. So I've got equal amount on the left and equal amount on the right. Squish that back together. Same thing on this side. Coil it around, tighten it down, trim off the tail. Now you need an 8mm bead. I'm going to put this one from the left side, string it on the 20 gauge wire, and then start to bend your weave around the bead. I'm going in a counterclockwise movement. And allow, so I got it crossed on the back side, but I want this wire that the bead is strung onto to come in front of the weave as I bend it around. Okay, so I'm gonna get about there. And now I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to continue. Now this one is going to go in a, oh shoot, before I was going clockwise. I think I said counterclockwise, so correction. I was going in a clockwise rotation, and now this one I'm going in a counterclockwise rotation around the bead. I like to pass in front of exit point where the wire is coming out of the bead to kind of cover it up. And then I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to finish this part later once I get the other earring going. Okay, so stop about there, and then you're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to create another weave. I've already got this one ready. So 6 more of the hills. Make sure you leave your tails and do all the same stuff as before. Take these out and put your 20 gauge wire in and then I'll meet you right back here. Okay, now that we have all of that done, you have your bead. Remember, on earrings, we want them to be a mirror reflection of one another. So we just have to do this the opposite direction. So now we're going to place that bead on the right side. And I'll start to bring the weave around the bead in a counterclockwise direction, making sure the weave is passing behind the other wire. So you come around. Okay, and then you can take a look at your other one, see if they're about the same. I'm pretty happy with that. I think it looks good. And now this wire, I'm going to continue wrapping it around in a clockwise rotation. And then leave that. So from here, I want to get the little swirls that are on the front here about the same size. That's why I waited until I had them both that I could look at and kind of do them at the same time. That's always the trick with earrings. If you do one thing to one earring, you want to immediately do it to the other side. So I don't want this loop very big. I'm going to trim it down first. I'm going to try to eyeball it and trim it about the same. On that side. And then you can use a pair of round nose pliers. Grab a hold of that end. And I'm going to start to spiral it in. I've got a whole video on how to create spirals, so if you need some extra help with that, I recommend checking that out. I will put it below in the reference videos. And then do the same thing here. Grab the end. Start to pull it in. Like so. Okay, moving on to the top. Here I'm going to use my round nose pliers and just pinch the top here. And then grab this and I'm going to go to the left. So I'm going counterclockwise around and down. Now I'm going to flip this over. In the back here, all I do, you probably use your fingers at this point. As I just hide it, I could do the same thing on the front that I did on the front. I'm going to just make a little spiral on the back side. So it looks like this from the front. And I'll end up just trimming this. And then grabbing and just creating a little spiral on the back side. It's just going to sit there. It's not like incredibly sturdy by any means, but I didn't design them to be that way. Ta-da! And then you'll do the same thing on the other one. Grab. Now this time you're going to go clockwise. Back and around. And it doesn't matter your preference here, how much of a spiral you want to create on the back side. And there we go. And then I've already got hooks ready. Throw them on. And if you need to know how to make these easy French hook earrings, I've also got a video on that, so it'll be down in the description under the reference videos if you need help creating ear hooks. And there we go. I hope you enjoyed this video. It's so nice to be back doing tutorials. I think these are really cute little earrings, and of course you can patina them if they're copper or sterling silver. I got a video on that as well down in the description on how to patina your jewelry. And of course I love seeing when you post your stuff on Facebook and Instagram and you do your variations. You know, you might use a different wire, different color of bead, or you know, put your own spin on it. And I love when you tag me. I love being able to see all of your work. Feel free to check out some of my other tutorials, and have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you. Bye.